Hello again, this is Andrew Wright. Thanks for dropping in to this second of two middle-level free samples of my Andrew Wright English or AWE program. Using these AWE courses will help you to speak an excellent level of Standard or BBC or Queen's English. Hi English students everywhere, and thanks for joining me again. At least I assume it's again, because this is the second of two free samples at this middle level. Just let me say that if you haven't already watched the first free middle level sample, I strongly suggest that you go back and look at it first, and also check out the 5-minute overview and 15-minute free introduction to AWE. These will give you a good insight into how we will work together if you decide to take one or more of my courses. It includes my aims for you, a good demonstration of my style, and so on. Oh, and note that I'm speaking at almost normal conversation speed here. Just a reminder, if you find this middle level too easy, after watching the two samples, you could skip up to the higher level courses. Or, of course, if the opposite is true, and you've struggled a bit here, you can always drop down to the lower level for the short course to help you brush up your English, ready to come back here later. Don't forget what I've said in the other free samples, that all the English you practice speaking with me will serve you well, since it's only by speaking that you improve your speaking, not just listening, reading, or writing. Now let's get you warmed up with your first practice speaking in this sample. Go back to the start and, using the markers in the film, stop, listen, and copy while listening to your own voice, adapting and repeating as necessary. Even if you already started doing that, well done by the way, make sure that you do it also to this very set of instructions. It's all good quality practice. Not a single word is wasted in my lessons. Okay, our first grammar topic in this sample is quite a short one, but is particularly helpful, as we want to increase both your vocabulary and your colloquial ability. The word colloquial, if you didn't know it, means used in informal speech, rather than in formal speech or in writing normally. Except, however, if you're writing to friends or family, e.g. in an email, you may actually use very colloquial language. And certainly you do if you're texting or SMS messaging. So I'm going to talk about liking and disliking at different levels. It's an area that native English speakers often don't really know well enough. So let's start with the words love and hate. These are both extreme verbs, positive and negatives, and or antonyms or opposites. They're often used wrongly, particularly hate. I mean, can you seriously hate carrots, for example? They haven't hurt you, have they? Hate should only be used with live things, usually people, which or who are dangerous to you or to your loved ones. So not the weather, a type of music, or your husband's latest hairstyle. Love, I think, is also used a bit too freely. For example, I love my iPad. Do you really want to kiss your new iPad? No matter how clever it is. Okay, I know I'm exaggerating a little, but you know what I mean. Let's get back to the wider list of words you could generally choose from, shall we? The verb to like is one of the most used words in general conversation, and of course is quite useful to express your positive feeling about something or somebody. Its simple opposites are most commonly don't like or, a bit more formally, dislike. So, for example, I like whiskey, but I don't like or I dislike gin. Or, we like traveling by train, but we don't like flying. I'm sure these are already very clear to you. If you want to say something you like more strongly, the most common three ways to do it, I think, are I like it very much, I really like it, or I like it a lot. Other words you can use, i.e. synonyms and apt phrases, depending on the context and the object, include enjoy, be fond of, be keen on, fancy. Especially for liking a girl or boy. Of course, people do use stronger verbs, such as love and adore as well. Just be careful that it doesn't sound exaggerated if you do so. I mean, I love your new hat. Not sure. It's when we come to negatives of like that you also have to pay a bit more attention, though, especially when it becomes stronger. Apart from the two normal forms mentioned before, don't like or dislike, we have the following common alternatives. Be careful of these first two. They have clear differences meaning to English speakers. I don't really like means you don't like something, but you might accept it, while I really don't like something or really dislike formally means you quite strongly don't like it. Then at the strongest extreme of disliking, you'll often hear, I can't stand something, or I really can't stand something, or I detest something, or I loathe it. So take your pick. Finally, I can't miss out the verb hate, I suppose, but keep it in context, such as maybe I hate drunken drivers. Okay, got that? Let's move on to another subject now. Oh, before we do, have you practiced everything up to here? Are your sounds pretty good? Note, by the way, the word pretty is a common alternative word for quite or very in this context. It has nothing to do with how beautiful or how attractive you think your sounds are. It's used in lots of other situations, such as pretty expensive, meaning quite expensive, and so on. Now we're going straight on to discuss a second grammar topic, the verb to get, and a number of the ways it's commonly used. Get is one of the most common verbs in English, so get used to it. Yes, that's my first example too. It means become ready to hear it and use it or accept something. E.g., if you come from, say, Dubai to the UK to study, you have to get used to the English weather. We normally think of get as meaning to receive or obtain, which is probably its first main meaning. But secondly, and most, maybe as often, we use it to mean become or make yourself something. E.g., get ready means make yourself ready. Unfortunately, in modern times, we often hear, can I get? incorrectly used by mainly young people in cafes, bars and restaurants when they are ordering something, such as, "Can I get a cappuccino, please?" That is quite incorrect, so don't fall into the trap, please. What they're actually asking is, "Can I serve myself a cappuccino?" But that's what the waiter or bar person is there for. What they should be saying is, "Can I, or more correctly, may I, have a cappuccino, please?" Another note, in the normal sense of the word, it will be followed by a direct object. For example, he got a cup of coffee. In the past tense here, of course. But sometimes you may hear it with both a direct and an indirect object. As for example, he got me a cup of coffee, where me is the indirect object. Now some of the other uses include to get something done, meaning you arrange for somebody else to do something, such as, "I must get my car serviced soon." You might also hear, "I must have my car serviced soon," which means the same thing. Get used to, as I mentioned at the beginning of this topic, is to make yourself accept something, as in, "At first I didn't like the taste of olives, but I got used to it." Get plus an adjective means become, e.g., "I'm getting really angry," meaning I'm becoming really angry. Really, in this case, means very. Get with an adverb particle such as up, away, off, out, etc. actually suggests moving in some way, either physically or in your head. I'm sure you know several of these already. For example, "What time do you usually get up at the weekend?" Or, "We need to get away from the office by 4 o'clock at the latest," etc. You can also have some of these last ones with an object too, again when it means to make somebody or something move. For example, "My elderly neighbour had to get me to rescue their cat from the roof." As I said, get is one of the most used verbs. When put with various adverb particles, it forms what we call phrasal verbs, which have quite a reputation for foreign speakers. There are supposed to be nearly 2,000 of these, and they are really common in the English language. Luckily, I'm sure you've all used some of them, and so you've got a general idea. The most common ones include get up, get washed or get dressed, get off, as in a plane or a bicycle, etc. Get in to or out of a car, for example, and so on. But as I just said, there are lots and lots more to learn as you go along. You can almost never analyze the meaning from the words themselves, as in these two examples. "What are the kids getting up to?" suggests that the kids are involved in something naughty or bad, but you can't see that in the verb itself. Or, "She was sick for a day or so, but she's getting over it now." You can probably work that out, I guess. Oh, work out is also a phrasal verb, meaning make yourself understand. Finally, get with a past participle of a verb is fairly often used as a passive meaning, where someone had an action or situation done to or placed on them. It's a sort of substitute for to be. For example, "I was caught in heavy traffic" is a simple passive form and by chance, whereas I got caught in heavy traffic, although it means more or less the same, may suggest that you made a mistake and went out at a busy time. Right, that's all I've time for again. So I'll make a few closing remarks and comments. Number one is, naturally, to remind you to practice. Have you spoken all of the material in this short session? Please, if you haven't done so, please do it now, all the way to the end. Promise me? As usual, if you've enjoyed this clip and found it useful, please hit the like button, subscribe to Andrew Wright English, and don't forget to tell your colleagues, family and friends about me if they need English. And look out for the courses soon. Many thanks for your visit, and please enjoy your English. This was Andrew Wright with a second sample middle level lesson from Andrew Wright English. Again, thanks for watching, and bye for now.